316 says I just whipped your...
Give me a hell yeah!
Hard-hitting.
What?
Compelling interviews.
What?
Spot-on predictions.
What?
Statistical analysis.
What? Huh? What?
Okay, so they're none of that. But definitely laying the audio smackdown. It's Wrestling Wednesday on the Kevin Sutton Show.
Yes, it is, baby. You know what they say. We're going to go ahead because, Phil's not here today. Phil's not here at all. So, he's like, it's Wrestling Wednesday. It's Wrestling Wednesday. Hold it down. You know what? I don't care, brother. I don't care. What I care about tonight is college football. College sports as a whole. I watched the whole HBO special on college football and paying the athletes and all this stuff. And there's just a whole slew of things and reasons why they should be paid. I want to know how you feel about that. It was talked about 3 years ago. It got dropped off the table. Multiple coaches were fired. A lot of people, fundraisers and stuff like that, got dropped out. Athletes were pissed off. Everybody's trying to get their word out on it, and it just went cold. No one wanted to speak about it anymore. It's gone, over with, nothing to be said about it. But we talked about it when it was hot. But when it's cold, who's going to put it in the microwave? KevinSuttonShow.com. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in the microwave, and I'll make sure it burns up, and it scorches somebody. And I'll talk wrestling. The Bella Twins are doing their thing. We're going to get into that. You can hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all under the username Kevin Sutton Show. And today's show is brought to you by the one and only, the great Crews and Pesquera's attorneys at law. If you got a slip and fall or you're just tired of your mama. No, you can't do that. You can't. They won't even support you on that. But if you car accident, wrongful death type situations, we got the people in the building with us today. Mr. Bryan is going to be representing his firm on what they are going to do for you. So we'll have a little bit of conversation about that. And then also, the political heat is crazy. Our girl Maya with the latest point of view is doing her thing. She's up in the polls. That sounds bad. That sounds really bad. I would like for her to be up in the polls, though. So, is it wrong for me to say that? So I got my man Sam in the building. What's up, dog?
What's going on, bud?
Maybe I need to be like the Eagles, though.
Yeah.
Because apparently our leader, Mr. Daniels, said that there is a lot of nonsense going on, and the reason why the Eagles are not doing any good has nothing to do with them being Philadelphia Eagles. It actually has to do with doing too much hanky-panky.
Yeah, so I think I don't know if he used to play for the Eagles, but he's an analyst on one of the local Fox affiliate up there in Philadelphia, said the Eagles should abstain from relations to improve their
That sounds so political field. When you said relations.
Yeah, because I'm trying to keep my job here.
Sam Clinton?
I have a clip if you want to listen to it.
I want to hear it. Is it good?
It's all right. It's funny. I would say it lasts a little longer than I would like, but I think we should listen to it.
Okay, so maybe we'll go on to it. I know I got my man Eddie on. I think Phil is calling in, and he's supposed to be on the movie shoot. Right? Let's pull Phil in here real quick.
All right, give me 1 second. Let's get it.
Can we get him on there?
Yeah, we got him.
Phil, what are you doing?
Hey. Look. You see, what you need to do if you're a Philadelphia Eagle is take my words of advice from the prison cell, okay? You gotta abstain from the boogity, okay?
I have my finger on the dump button, just in case you're wondering.
Keep the finger there.
You don't have to dump me because I'm the cleanest guy here because I've only been here for 2 weeks.
Did he get slapped in the face with like a chicken cutlet in prison?
Really?
I think there was a story.
Oh, come on.
Like a raw chicken cutlet in the face to 80-year-old Bill Cosby.
It was not a chicken cutlet. It was a wing.
Oh, my God.
Not a chicken cutlet.
This show has already gone off the rails. We just started.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, guys. Hey, I just want to show you guys some love. Yes, I'm not there tonight because I am inching my way into Hollywood.
It can happen, man. Don't think positive. Think positive.
Be positive, Phil. Be positive.
Yes, is that Bryan?
Yeah, man. I'm shouting out to you. Be positive.
He's
brother.
here, man. The real boss is here.
Nah.
Oh, man, we got to straighten up there. Sam, dump all that.
He actually heard it. He can't change it.
I was laughing, man. I was cracking up listening to you. You are the man. You and Kevin.
You can't dump it after the fact, Phil. I'm just gonna let you know.
Yeah, like the people out there can't hear it, but you can't unhear it from in here.
No, you can't unhear it.
Oh, man. Well, look, guys, y'all have a great show, and I think that, yes, they should not abstain because how can you turn it down?
Oh, my goodness. That was definitely a Bill Cosby moment. But, Phil, before you go, what is the I was telling people coming here, they're like, hold on, you're going to be there early and Phil is not there. Something's wrong. And I'm like, no. This is not normal, but it's going to happen today, and I'll be okay because I have not drinking anything that comes out of Yingling bottle, and I'm going to be safe. And Myra's not here, so I figured I would say something wrong, but I have not. But you are in a movie, and it is not on Pornhub.
Yet. We're not done with it.
What is the actual name of the movie that's going to be coming out soon? I do know it's about the apocalypse and something like The Walking Dead, but I know it's not The Walking Dead. So give us that before you leave.
The name of the movie is called Scragland. So Scrag is an acronym. But yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic movie about kind of like race and like immigration, and a man tries to find his family. So I'm a bad guy in the movie, so I'll be beating up some white guys. Sorry, Bryan.
Oh my goodness.
You're a bad guy in real life, ain't it?
Wow. I know who's not going to represent you if you get in an accident.
I already represented him once. I'll take care of you again anyway, Phil.
I appreciate it, bro. Stay out of trouble. We'll definitely get in there. I'm going to talk some wrestling, but I definitely want to get into the college sports, so we're going to do that. But we definitely will talk about the Bella Twins and the things that are going on right now in the wrestling world.
The Bella Twins, they deserve my double pulling pot because of twins. Bye.
Bye, Phil.
Oh, Phil.
The Bella Twins need a double pudding pop. Okay.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. That
whole thing was just...
Okay, so Eddie, we got you on the line. We are not out of time yet for our commercial break. First, Sam will keep us going and make sure I don't get in trouble. So go ahead. Eddie, are you there?
Kevin Sutton, how are you, my friend?
Oh, don't call me your friend, Boston Eddie. Mara's not here right now, so you can be mean.
Stop spreading the news.
Oh, my goodness.
Leaving today. I want to be
This was hilarious, though. I love the troll job by the Red Sox here. Like, Aaron Judge brought it in thinking he was going to be all cool, playing New York in Fenway. And in classic internet troll form, the Boston Red Sox came back and did it to them.
Completely swept the floor with them. Am I not wrong by that is like the worst score ever in history?
Well, that was game 3. Yeah, game 4.
Game 4 was like
was
horrible.
4-3.
Yeah,
it was close.
That's really bad, man. It's really bad.
Well, let me tell you what I expect to see out of my boys. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm up here in Boston now. I moved back here.
Boston Eddie. I mean, your voice alone says you're in Boston. You know that, right?
Yep. They listen, it's a great town to be in, especially if you're a Patriot fan or you're a Celtics fan, and especially this year, a Red Sox fan. But listen, I remember, let me just take you back to 2004. I was there when it happened. The Red Sox were down 3-0. They took a vicious beating. They lost 19-6 in Game 3 at home. They were down 3-0. The sweep was in. But no, David Ortiz said, not now. They won 1 game. They won 2 games. They won 3 games. And then they went bananas in Game 7. Anyways, the Yankees lost again. The Red Sox beat them. They beat them and won the division in Yankee Stadium. They danced on their field. And then they went back where the Yankees were undefeated at home, and the problem they had is they went home cocky. Judge is too good to be playing games and walking by the Red Sox. You don't need to antagonize a team that's won 108 games. Don't do it. Anyways, with that being said, the Yankees came so close to coming back last night. The Red Sox almost blew it. Craig Kimbrell, my God almighty, that guy's going to give you a heart attack. He goes in with a 4-1 lead. He hits the guy. He walks the guy. Somebody gets a hit. Gives up 2 runs. And finally, we need to have an instant replay to end the game to really know the Red Sox won. And just before that, somebody hit a bomb all the way to as far as you can hit the ball without hitting it out. I thought it was gone. I thought it was a grand slam, and I thought we were looking at Game 5. But this Red Sox team, Kevin, they're a good team. They play a lot of small ball. They like to run. And I like them. You know what I don't like? I don't like the little shimmy they do on the bases. I don't like that. That's what I don't like. But I like everything else. Kevin, tell me what you like about my Boston Red Sox.
You're going to get in trouble. One, I am not a Boston fan whatsoever. You guys have everything. Every single last thing: basketball, football, baseball, hockey. I mean, what can they not have there? You got the marathon, man. Like, it's named after you guys. The Boston
Bruins look
Marathon.
pretty good too.
He just added another. Come on, man. Really? This is where I'm coming from. You guys have it all. We need that in Florida, Eddie. Florida needs to be all around, not just Disney. Now, I love the rat, but we need to have more than that here. We need to have more than Orlando Magic. We need to have that.
Kevin.
What?
I'm going to tell you a little story. Do you remember the GM?
All about how. You stay right there. We're going to go to commercial break because I'm going to get in trouble.
Right. I'm going to talk to
you. stay here. You stay right there.
I'm going to be right here.
Commercial break, and we're going to come back. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by Crews and Pesquera, attorneys at law. All of your needs will be fulfilled when you give them a call. I'll send you all the information. It's on the website. That is not my job. My job is to talk shizzy. Yeah. Stay right there, baby. Oh, my sugar-doogity. I've been in trouble during this commercial break. I didn't even have to go anywhere, and I already got in trouble. I got like 6 text messages saying, Kevin, how could you not like the Boston Red Sox? I didn't say I didn't like Boston Red Sox. They didn't say, Kevin, how could you not like the Boston Celtics? I didn't say I didn't like the Boston Celtics. I just said I don't like Boston, suckers. Get what I'm saying? I don't want to go there. And it's deep-rooted hatred for you guys. It's deep. It's real deep. This girl that I know, she was in love with these guys, about 6 guys, and they all from Boston. And they had this group called New Kids on the Block. And every time I talk to her, all she want to do is talk about these guys from New Kids on the Block. Well, that white woman is my wife now. And I'm still mad. And she got pictures with all those boys, New Kids on the Blocks. And, you know, they got the shirts off and abs showing and talking about, oh, Mara, we love you. Can't wait to see you again. What is all this, man? Stay away from my wife.
Is this where the hatred stems from?
That is where the hatred starts.
That makes a lot of sense, actually.
That is where the hatred starts, and I'm not going to let it go. Do we still have Boston Eddie online?
Yeah, we still got Boston Eddie waiting for us.
So add him as the 7th guy, because he comes in on Facebook like, oh, I really love the Kevin Sutton show, but that Myra, boy, geez, she's really awesome. I love her. Like, what? Like, you're on my show, boss. You're on my show page.
Listen, hey, Kevin, she's really good, and I got to tell you something. You're going to have one more guy you're not happy with, because when she wins her election, I'm coming down there, and I'm going to celebrate with you. We're going to take a picture, and that's one more picture you're going to have to keep on looking at of the men from Boston that love your old lady. Hear me, brother? Hey, I want to tell you something real quick. You said that you'd like to see what's going on up here. You get a little bit jealous. I want to tell you something. Look at what the Patriots do, and I'm not talking about on the field, just the way their organization is, and look the way the Red Sox organization is run. These are 2 of the best-run organizations ever, and they were 2 of the worst-run organizations for years. So if you look at what they're doing, get some of their people, some of their coaching staff, some of their office people, take them, move them into Jacksonville, move them into Miami, get them working for the Rays, and do like they did with what the Cubs did when the Cubs hired the Red Sox former GM. And look what they did with the Cubs. It's a system, and you just got to go by it. You need to know what to do. You need to know when to hold them. You need to know when to fold them. You need to know when to walk away. You need to run. You follow me, Kevin?
I got you.
You didn't know I could sing, did you, brother?
I hear you, man. And what I will say is that I might be a hater, but I do respect what you guys do there. There is a lot of respect on how they run things. And when you look at it, the city, the town, the state backs them 100%, good times and bad. That's what I like. Loyalty. Loyalty means a lot.
All you got to do in Boston is play. All you got to do is play your hardest. You don't have to be good. All you got to do is come to play every single game, and Boston fans will get behind you. But let me tell you what, they're no dummies. When they see you dogging it, they're going to dog you and they're going to ride you like a horse. It's funny, listening to sports radio up here today, I mean, it was great. The Red Sox went down there, and they beat the Yankees. The Yankees have been 7-0 down there in that stadium in the playoffs. And for the Red Sox to get down there and take 2 of those games, I mean, that's a really, really big deal. But what are you listening to on sports radio? They're up here whining because David Price might pitch another game. You know what? These fans are so spoiled. Everybody all over the country would love to have these games, and they're whining about the way they won the game. Isn't it incredible? That's the way it is up here. That's the way it is.
Oh my goodness, Eddie, where are you at on that, Sam? Where's your love for Boston? Where?
I am a very fair weather Boston Red Sox fan. I don't really like baseball too much. I keep up with it because it's my job to keep up with baseball. I watch the playoffs, but it's not something I think is as entertaining as the other sports. Other than that, I love the way Boston, as far as fans galvanize around their teams. It's awesome. I wish all the fan bases I support were like that. As far as the Patriots, I don't like them. Celtics, I don't like them. I'm a Laker fan. And the Bruins, I don't like them because Brad Marchand is probably the most annoying hockey player on the face of this earth, in my opinion. I don't know how Eddie feels about it. But that's where I stand on Boston sports.
You know why? Listen, Boston fan is arrogant fan. We're arrogant. We are really arrogant. New Yorkers are obnoxious. Bostonians are arrogant. Just, it's a fine line. It's a fine line. But listen, come up here to Boston. Come up here anytime. Anyone comes up here and wants to go see a game, I'll hook you up. You want to go to Fenway Park? There isn't a better place anywhere to go see a game. You feel like you're in a little sandbox there. And if you can ever go to a playoff game at either the Boston Garden or at Fenway, it's incredible. And the Patriots, I don't blame you for not liking them. I mean, even I'm starting to not like them. I mean, you kind of get sick of every week they win. It gets old. I don't blame you guys. I'd be irritated myself.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a little sarcasm for arrogant Bostonian Eddie. Hey, Kevin, I'm going to let you guys go.
I appreciate it, brother. Always call.
I'm coming back for the World Series. We're going to go back to the World Series. The Red Sox are going to beat Houston. This Red Sox team is a great running team this month. And don't forget, Alex Cora was a coach last year with the Houston Astros. He knows all about that team, the ins and outs, and the guy's doing magic. It seems like everything he touches turns to gold right now.
All right, man. You heard it right there from Boston Eddie, one of these amazing, great guys. I love him, everything he does. The guy's outstanding. He's a great father.
I was like, at first, I couldn't tell if you were doing it, but as soon as you hit the father, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get what he's doing there.
I love him. No, I honestly do. Always doing something great in the community, standing up for people. That's what the Kevin Sutton Show is about. And the crew, unfortunately, they don't like me today. But I do have Sam. Sam is here.
I like you,
and
Kevin.
I have Bryan. He might as well be a part of the crew. Mr. Bryan, where are you at when it comes to do you care at all about baseball? That is one thing that's changing right now. Baseball is losing its drive. And I think great historic teams like Boston, the Yankees,
Dodgers,
the Cubs,
Braves, maybe.
The Braves. I'm giving it because they did have the what was the movie that they kind of mimicked after the Braves, where Tom Cruise. I think was that Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise.
I don't think it was Tom Cruise. It's the other guy. But they did.
The thing about Major League.
Major League Baseball.
Nah, that was the Indians.
It was after the Indians, right?
Yeah,
they did after the Indians.
Yeah.
So like you got the Indians. Atlanta Braves is a really awesome team. Oakland A's. They were great in their time. L.A. Dodgers.
Yeah, I would say the Dodgers just because the history with Jackie Robinson and Brooklyn to move over.
I think there's a whole platform that baseball had this legacy, and I wouldn't say it got smashed because of the steroid situation. I wouldn't say that is what kind of pummeled it all to kind of dwindle away. But there's something when you got races or nationalities not following the sport, where it has changed so much, where people aren't going out to play baseball in the minority communities. It's like everybody's going directly football and basketball, which is by far one of the hardest sports to get drafted into outside of it. I mean, like baseball.
Yeah, baseball statistically is the easiest sport in America to become a professional. As far as the numbers wise.
Yeah, like numbers wise, you got the teams that are out there. There's multiple teams in multiple states. I mean, like, baseball is what is the actual number for baseball to football? Do you know that in the league?
On the NFL roster for game day rosters is 53 for the NFL. Baseball I think is around 35, but then you put in the minor leagues and then the other professional leagues that there are for baseball.
So there's actual a larger platform of still a good playing scale.
Exactly.
Scale.
Yes, exactly.
Because when you take the NFL, these guys in like arena ball that are technically some of the best college football players ever, and some not retired, but like dropped
players
off the roster,
NFL
players that have gone back into arena football, they're getting paid less than $200 to $300 a game. I mean, a month for playing football, or a week. They're a weekly pay. There's some players are making $150 a week.
Yeah, I actually had a cousin who played arena football, but not the AFL, not that league. Another arena football league, and it's exactly like, compared to AA guys who are prospects or trying to make it in the league, who get these huge signing bonuses. It's not even close. Like, it's
where are you at, Mr. Bryan, on your feeling of like what happened to baseball? Because I mean, you got to come. You're not like a spring chicken, so you've been in the glamour times of baseball. And where do you fall at? You're just a football guy.
I'm mainly just a football guy, college football guy. But, I like the Boston Red Sox because my neighbor was a Boston Red Sox player. I like the Yankees. I follow them when they compete with each other. It's always a good game. A lot of spirit in those teams. So, but I'm really just a college football guy.
Football.
What's your team, Mr. Bryant?
I'm a Florida Gator fan.
Okay.
He's Gator baby.
Yeah, I'm a Gator fan.
So you guys are doing well right now. Right now.
Oh my goodness, you say it with so much hatred.
Yeah,
I do. I really do.
Mike Granato, Mr. Wrestling, that comes in here with me, works with me at Crews and Pesquera accident firm. Anyway, Mike Granato, Coach Granato, is a diehard Seminole. So we have a lot of fun with this during the year,
Yeah.
And so there's no love lost there.
It's for me. It's that UCF is this upstart program trying to get the respect, and then they're still when 18 games in a row, and people are still in the mainstream media saying the Gators are better than us, Miami Hurricanes are better than us, and yet it's one of those things. That's why I'm like, yeah, you guys are doing well, but I think if we could settle it on the field, it would be ideal.
What's your team, Sam?
I'm a UCF Knight.
He's a UCF. I can tell.
Yeah, I graduated in 2016.
Is it
UCF
all day, every day? Before you even went there? Were you
No. I didn't really have a college football team. I didn't support college sports.
It wasn't
my thing.
Wasn't your thing.
I stuck to professional soccer, stuff like that.
I know you're a huge soccer fan, so but once you get into it, the atmosphere, going to a college and having that atmosphere, I think it changes a lot. So what we're going to do, so you're not anti-Boston. So what we're going to go to, we're going to drop Boston Eddie. When we come back, we're going to talk about college athletes getting paid. Is that an issue? Do you see potential of problems, or would you like that to happen? And I'm going to get into it with two major fans of college football, and that is by far the number one sport of creating funds. You were talking about that earlier. What was the price?
The range is $2,000 to $5,000 a year, which is peanuts.
Peanuts,
but it helps.
When there's, I think we said it was almost
$1 billion
industry.
Yeah, $1 billion industry. I mean,
let's talk about how that gets broke down. Stay right there, Kevin Sutton Show and the Crew, right at you on ESPN. We are back, baby. What is going on? I am here for you, baby. I am here. What is going on? Football. Paying college athletes. Where are we? The Kevin Sutton Show and the crew. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All under the username Kevin Sutton Show. Go to the website, kevinsuttonshow.com, and you can get all the links to all of our great friends. And Mr. Bryan, we were talking college football. We got the Gators. We got the Knights. And I'm North Carolina Tar Heels. And it's always about blue. Where are you guys?
On the pay for play?
Pay for play.
You know, these athletes need to get paid, Kevin. I mean, they got to get some money because they can't work. All they can do is go to school and practice and train. They don't have time really to have a job. So they need to be compensated some just to make ends meet. I mean, like you say, to have enough money to go do your laundry or have the little incidentals that you need to have. You know, college students, they got to live too, and these college players, they need a little bit of pay so that they can have a decent life in college. I mean, they get a lot already, make no mistake about it. The universities give them a lot. They don't really give them enough, though. That's my opinion. They need to give them a little bit more. So and things such as if they get injured, they take care of them, that kind of stuff, and they typically do. But the pay for play is a big issue. It's created a lot of controversy. You know, the average player, I was reading about it, and they get between $2,000 and $5,000. The problem is, like a team like Alabama with their football program that's generating so much money, they already are getting some of the best recruits. Well, if they pay $10,000 a player, but the University of Florida or Florida State only pays a player, $2,000 or $3,000, you get to have an imbalance. So to me, it seems like they have to make a universal amount for each school in the United States. Otherwise, it becomes an uneven playing field, and it takes it out of being college football. Just my thought, though.
I lean towards paying the players. Obviously, I think that these guys work really hard to get where they are, and they are not being compensated to their worth. But I recognize the issues of all of the college football, college basketball landscape, and how to do it. And it's hard in a sport, in a sports landscape where everything is divided the way it is, as far as conferences and various conferences in the Power Five are not unified. They're not the same. They're not the same leagues. They play each other, but they're run by their separate conferences. So there creates an imbalance of how you can do it. So I think in my opinion, you'd have to break the entire thing up, stop doing it the way we do, and then rebuild it from the bottom up. And that means, adding some of these teams into one bigger league, and when there's one commissioner. And I think the best way to do it is revenue sharing. I think if you create one big league, one college football league, where the NCAA doesn't actually, that's not what the NCAA is, where you add, say the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, and there's one more, the Pac, the Pac-12, and make them all one league, then you can start deciding on all the money that comes in, and then you can divide that amongst the players and the coaches, like we do not the players and the coaches, the players and the schools, how we do in professional sports. The NBA, the Players Association, and the owners, they have a collective bargaining agreement where they divide up the revenue that comes in, sometimes 50-50, that's, collectively bargained. And, the problem with that one is the fact that the NCAA isn't, a unified league. And the second problem with that is that these players aren't recognized as employees. And so therefore they can't, form a union. You would obviously know more about this, Mr. Bryan, than I would, of how, to form a union and to be legally recognized by the courts and the states and whatnot, to collectively bargain for this money. Their student athlete was a term created for this exact reason, to stop the I guess, the beneficiaries of the money. That's the way I think about it. It's a whole system that needs to be redesigned, and it's probably not going to happen because it seems like a very difficult way to go about it.
I mean, when you simplify it, let's get on my level. Let's go all the way down to Ignit.
All right, let's do it. Ignit. All right.
When you take a guy like Jameis Winston, one of the top selling jerseys for the Knowles that they've ever had in a long time. I think that has something to do more with internet sales and stuff like that makes his jersey go so high and sells outside of like 10 years ago when you had 15, 20, 30 years ago when you had some top players like Deion Sanders and stuff like that. But let's put it right now, just, hey, he's the top seller, but the guy's stealing crab legs. And I'm not saying he's doing it because they don't feed him at the school, because I do know for sure players get well fed. But at the same time, they don't have any time to do anything else outside of being a professional athlete that's not on the level of professional yet. When these guys are making a low dollar amount and they're saying, we're giving you college tuition, we're giving you school, we're giving you an education, but you have to play for us. Should there be a limit on this? But these guys are becoming monsters. My cousin signed with North Carolina straight out of high school, went over and became a Tar Heel. They changed the jersey number like twice since he's been there, but
tends to happen.
He's actually like, I wouldn't even say double in size. It's like triple. He looks like a complete monster from high school till 3 years in college right now.
How to do that in
I don't
college.
know what the hell they're doing with this kid, but he does not look like my cousin anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He is a monster. I mean, the kid's like benching almost 400 pounds. Like, what in the hell's going on? When you put a person like that, he doesn't have time, and he is an honor roll student. His GPA is skyrocketing, but he takes education very serious.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing his books. He's studying, but he's like, there's a lot of players on the team because that their classes, I don't even know what type of classes.
And North Carolina is in some sort of NCAA
they have been in trouble
issues right now
multiple times.
For
it's
classes
not the
like
first
that,
time.
yeah.
And they're taking basket weaving like 101. Oh, you graduate with a master's in what? Basket weaving.
Advanced basket
Oh, sorry.
weaving.
I apologize. So you can be the head manager of, Joanne's Fabric. What is really going on with the career after sports? Because when you look at how many college players there are and how many can actually go to the NFL, it's a very small number, man. And to have the opportunity to make the money that these kids, from the time they're in Pop Warner football, going all the way through the high school, and the college recruits are coming to them, and you got all the big leagues, like the big brands, Nike, Adidas, going to these schools, trying to get the kids hyped to be able to want to be that type of brand ambassador, where they get them for cheap because they're paying for all the different leagues that they're playing on. And these kids are on traveling football teams, going state to state and getting that lifestyle. But these kids' social media numbers, when they're a decent player and they're in high school, they're getting top social media numbers that are like some of your low-level NFL players don't even get.
Yeah, it's where I'm huge in the recruiting. I love the aspect of college recruiting and then moving from college players to pro and like seeing which ones will translate better.
Mm-hmm.
When I know who the number one 14-year-old basketball player in the country is, that's where I think we've got an issue. Like Mikey Williams, who plays on the same team as LeBron James' son.
Yeah.
14-year-old, this dude is amazing. But the issue comes to the fact that this kid has over 300,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, what does that do to your
really
ego
kid.
as a child? He's not a teenager. He's 14 years old.
Yeah.
And he has 300,000 followers on Instagram. Like, what kind of impact does that have on his psyche?
It completely changes. So then you have this impact, right? You have all these followers. You have aunts, cousins, uncles. Everybody's around you. Let's say the majority of, I think, when college football, I think they were saying it was almost like 70% are African Americans when you go through the
I know the
college
stat in the
league.
NFL, 70% of the NFL players
Okay,
are
that's where it was.
African-Americans. That's the stat I know.
That was the from the NFL, right? So you have all these people piggybacking. And the thing is, basketball's changing up a little bit. Basketball used to be kind of heavy the same way, but that's changing a little. But when you look at the NFL and you see how much this is happening, but almost half of those families are under the poverty level. So you got this kid with 300,000 followers, and they're, the Kardashians get paid for, saying, hey, I love bubbles, and it's the best bubbles I use to wash my booty hole, whatever they say. And they say, look, here goes the money. If this kid, 14, does that, he's going to lose his college eligibility to get drafted.
Yeah,
he's going to lose it.
There was a kid at UCF who was the kicker at UCF a couple years back, or a year back. I don't know exactly what. He was also a relatively successful YouTuber, and there was a point where he had to decide. I think it was either the coaching staff or the money he was getting through his likeness, which is what the issue comes down to, is using your likeness to create profit, which the NCAA prohibits.
Yeah. So where's that line go?
Yeah, with him, it was he gave up his scholarship and became a full-time YouTuber and left the school. And
wow.
Which seems ridiculous because those two things should be separate. They should not be mutually exclusive. Either you can be a YouTuber or you can be a UCF kicker. That seems ridiculous that he has to decide between those two just because he was making a profit on his likeness. And a lot of people would say,
and it wasn't because he was a kicker.
Yeah, no, exactly.
He was a famous YouTuber before. I remember the guy. He was actually a famous YouTuber way before college football.
Yeah.
So where do you have that line? And you have people are suffering where their family don't have meals to eat, and they're living vicariously through their child, hoping they get to that position. But then we say they got to do, I think it's 2 years of college.
3 years.
3 now?
3 years for the NFL, 1 for the NBA.
No, what's the difference with that?
It's a body type thing, like where you'd be more mature. But it always comes down to if you're good enough to play at 18, you'll be good enough to play at 21. Like it doesn't make a difference to me. I understand it in the NFL a little bit more just because those dudes take hits.
Yeah.
So there's some maturity that happens from 18 to 21, but it's still something it turns into a cartel that you at 18, you can't go straight to the pro. So you have to go through the system. Yes. So the NCAA controls the amount of players that go from high school to the pros. You have to go through college football. So there becomes that control of you don't have any other option. And that to me is very un-American. It's very undemocratic, I would say, to not have the option to move from your sport to to pursue your career.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I just was looking at this, and we're talking about pay for play. And in 2015, Division I schools made $9.15 billion in revenue. Now, most of the schools, though, here made only $50 million, but there were some schools that made some major jack. I mean, they made some major money. So there's money there to support these athletes in college, get them a little pay, maybe give them some benefits and things. So if they get hurt, they have something to fall back on.
Wow. Coming back, we'll talk a little wrestling, but this topic right here has me heated because there's money to be earned, but there should be money spent. And it should be spent on taking care of the people that are creating these billions. When the coaches, when they win, when the coaches, the ones that lose, even get multi-million-dollar contracts to have a losing team. Stay right there. Kevin Sutton Show. And we're in it.
In it to win it.
Oh my goodness. What it is, what it do. They say it's Wrestling Wednesday, but we're going to call it College Football Wednesday.
Just don't tell Phil.
Yeah, don't tell Phil. Pay to play. Where are you at? I got a couple texts in, and people are saying that it is good for the college athletes to get paid. Some say it's wrong. They're getting paid by their college education. Well, let's talk about that. College education, even at a great school. I would put in one of the below average colleges. Let's say your average college tuitions, you're going to pay $100,000. And let's add in the training, the insurance that they cover you on, the physical trainers, the food program, athletics program, everything that you possibly get. I'm going to give you another $100,000. So there's $200,000 for you to go to school. They're making more than that off these athletes.
It's also kind of a cop-out to say education is paying these kids when that's not their priority there. They're not like the famous Cardell Jones say, they're not there to play school.
Preach.
They're there to play football.
Yep.
That's why they're at this school, not because of their educational prowess. And as much as I value education, I love school. I'm actually kind of a nerd when it came to school. Mm-hmm. It's not why they're there. And we're not talking about the guy who's the 55th guy on the roster. We're not talking about the third string right tackle. We're talking about the Mackenzie Miltons of the world who are probably going to go pro. The guy at UCF, if you guys don't know, I'm UCF quarterback. We're talking about guys like, Tua Tagovailoa, who's going to be a pro. Those guys deserve the money because they have the value. They're the ones that bring the eyeballs onto the screen. And to say that education is paying him, when him himself, if he wanted to do commercials, if he wanted to do endorsements, he would outweigh, as far as monetarily, he would outweigh the $200,000 you're talking about within, a couple months.
Oh, easily.
Like if Nike could sponsor him right now, he'd make $1 million a year.
Oh, they would already give it to him.
Yeah.
They would give it to him. And so then you look at what these athletes could potentially be paid, and are they being wasted, potentially having issues on the field, getting injured? That can happen. A wrong tackle, the wrong hit, weight. Now this, got to hit above below the helmet. Those things change a lot. So you're getting legs now in the target zone, and these guys are hitting lower and lower in order to stay safe. And when you look at these guys in college football, for this to be your dream, your career, your potential to be there, and you lose it because you were sprinting down the field or at practice you get hurt and it's all gone. Scouts aren't looking at you anymore. No one cares who you are. It's all gone, and you wasted 3 years at college with possibly a low-scale education, but you wasted 3 years when that could have been 1 year and 2 years actually playing in the NFL. That could change one of these guys' lives forever. 1 year in the NFL could change 70% of these people's lives completely. And it could possibly be wasted on 3 years trying to make it fit the schedule for football. I think you get them in there, let them be able to do their thing. But you know what? Those 3 years, they're priming them up.
My issue always comes down to this and this only, really, because I don't hate the college system as much as I sort of let on when I speak about this. The thing is the fact that they don't have an option. Like, if most high school kids, if given the option to go to college or the pros, would pick college because they're not ready. And then my issue is that they don't have the option to forego college. They don't have the option to leave after 1 year. They don't have the option to leave after 2 years. They have to stay 3 years until they can make any money off of their skill set. And that's where it comes down to. And if you're not going to pay the players, which, is probably never going to happen in our lifetimes, I would put money on. Let them have a chance to make that money. Let them, make the mistake. I get it, giving 18-year-olds the keys to the car, per se, isn't the greatest idea, but we do it in almost every other aspect of our lives. At 18, you leave your house, you go to college. That's sort of the culture we live here. So why can't athletes decide what they're going to do after high school?
To be trapped paying into an industry that's collecting the amount of money. And I would say there's probably a few parents that would be like, if it was up to the parents, they would say go straight to the pros as well, because they can start getting their check. You're going to take care of mama. You're going to do that when you get there. A lot of these guys are like, I want to buy my mom a car. I want to buy my mom a house. I want to buy, I want to, help my little sister go to college. I mean, when I was watching this HBO special, it was really disheartening, man.
Which one was this?
It was the college college football. They did on HBO.
Is it the LeBron one, the Spring Hill Entertainment one?
No, this was another one. It was actually old. It was actually from last year.
Because I know LeBron's production company just put out they're going to
start doing a new one.
Yeah.
I'm horrible with names, so I forgot it. But I know just HBO special on college football. If you look that up, you'll see. And but it was disheartening to see all these athletes that they followed for 3 years. They followed them for 3 years, and 2 of them made it to the NFL, and the other ones were like bench warmers for it just weren't good enough. They never made it to the NFL. One guy went into rehab for not drugs, for mental breakdowns. The guy was a top athlete, high school, middle school, high school, AAU, went to college, top athlete in college, was doing a dumb class throughout college and got hurt the last year, and he was cleaning trash cans at a park for Parks and Recreation. That's what he was doing, cleaning trash. And there's nothing wrong with that. But this guy at 6'2", 350 pounds, you just don't fit anywhere in the regular day of life, and you don't fit in that situation. He's like, well, I'm trying to teach these kids basketball, but he was the person, when you see them follow him in the community, everybody knew his name, and then it all goes away. Complete mental breakdown. I'll let you guys finish it up. Where you at, boss?
Like I said, I'm for the pay for play. So I think we got to take care of the student athletes, help them make a little money, get by, help make ends meet, and maybe even make some independent money as well.
Yeah, I'm all about giving the players the option and letting them make money on their own, and not the NCAA restricting them. That's my biggest issue.
But the NCAA, they like their rules.
No, you got to have rules. Without rules, there's chaos. Check it out. With Crews and Pesquera, attorneys at law, you can go and call them for free case evaluation, 1-800-683-5291, or go to bryancrews.com, your I-4 lawyer. Peace.